everybody. Okay, I am so excited. Susan, hello, my sweet friend. Oh my gosh, this is always so exciting. Lisa from Scotland. Furman, of course. Hello, sir. How are you? Look at all of my fun friends. All right, guys. Hello. Welcome back to coffee time. I tried to be a bit more colorful today. I tried to put on things that make me happy, which resemble the beach. It's been a crazy week. Lots of excitement. We had a lot of sadness in our family with an unexpected passing of my nephew. So this week has been filled with a lot. So I figured today for coffee time, I'm going to brighten things up by wearing bright colors and putting on my little seashells and starfish and all of my fun necklaces to try to make things a bit more festive today. So I want to say hello again to everybody. I love this. Ronald from Colorado. From Wales. I love it. This is super exciting. And yes, somebody, David, you also commented on my Squishmallow, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But anyway, so today, yeah, it's been a crazy past week. And then this week that we have coming up is going to be equally busy, equally chaotic, hopefully equally as exciting with some happy new homeowners. Hopefully the sadness won't happen again. But we will actually probably be flying to Virginia for that upcoming, funeral memorial service. So we're going to, first of all, last week I forgot about my mug of the day. How dare I forget about the mug of the day? That was my favorite part of this. So if you weren't here for our very first kind of trial version of coffee time, we all have that large cabinet in I guess we all do. The large cabinet in your kitchen where you've just got all these coffee mugs or teacups or things that you've collected kind of over the years, some of which you probably don't even know that you have anymore. Maybe you grabbed it at the souvenir shop when you're on vacation somewhere, or maybe you were at the airport and you just grabbed it, or who knows. But that's kind of what my mug of the day is going to give me the opportunity to go and pull out some old ones. However, I found a new one. So this is my mug of the day. Oh my God, isn't it so cute? So Winnie the Pooh is and always has been and forever will be my absolute favorite Disney character. I have a giant Winnie the Pooh that I remember vividly walking with my mom through a Sears when I was a little girl. And it was at the tip top of a display. I don't even know that it was for sale. But I remember dropping her hand, turning around, walking back, climbing up, which is not safe, by the way, climbing up to get that Winnie the Pooh. And then I did end up getting my big Winnie the Pooh, which I still have, by the way. It's in my closet. And in perfect Pooh fashion, it does have a little rip in its little, so all its fluff. But anyway, so this is my new mug. It's a Pooh Bear mug. And I have to tell you where I bought it. By the way, I'm going to have a sip real quick. And it is mostly still warm. Okay, so I actually bought this just a few days ago because I went to a Hallmark store. So these Squishmallows, if you don't know what Squishmallow is, it is, I didn't know what they were either, but my son and his girlfriend were out on a mission to try to collect these. Not necessarily all of them. They just wanted to get the ones that were most exciting to them, and they're absolutely adorable. And I think to satisfy his need and want to buy more, he decided he would give me some. So that way he had permission to go buy more. So he's purchased a few for me that you see scattered around. And yes, I have my Pooh Squishmallow. And I have to tell you, though they're so comfortable. They're just these little fluff balls of like clouds. They are amazing. And so we have quite a few of them floating around. So when my husband went to Texas this past week, we'll talk about that a little bit. But when he went, my son was here and he asked if we could go to the Hallmark store because he found another place that we had not visited. Now I have to tell you that I didn't know there were any more Hallmark stores because there weren't any right here immediately where I live. Although back in Virginia, we had Hallmark stores. So I wasn't really sure that they still existed, but they do. My friends, they do. So we stocked up on some new Squishmallows and I treated myself to this new mug that I decided I was going to use for my mug of the day. So thank you, Hallmark store, for still existing. I do the Hallmark Christmas ornaments. We've always done that, and you can obviously still order those. And so I got my new catalog for the sample of this year's that are coming out. So I'm excited about that. But at any rate, okay, so we are going to go through quite a few things today. Obviously, we're going to go to what's brewing here in a minute. We're going to talk about some of those ideas, but I do want to give a shout out to just a couple people, just because I see so many, like, okay, so here's the thing. Like, some of you are former clients or current clients. Some of you are people that I just feel like I completely know through this crazy world of real estate, YouTube videos, comments, some of the live premieres that we've done. So you are my family, and I love that. So thank you very much. I mean, Sydney, Gina, yay. Oh my gosh, look at all these people. This is amazing. So thank you for watching, for tuning in. Hopefully the information will be, it'll be, informational, and hopefully it'll be a little bit of fun too. So, all right. So we are going to, oh my gosh, they just keep scrolling with all these people. This is so exciting. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to go to It's Brewing. But before we do What's Brewing, yesterday we did our Sunday drive. If you watched our Sunday drive, you'll know that we actually did a true Sunday drive. We did it Sunday morning, meaning early yesterday morning, and then Eric had to edit it, so it went out a little bit late. But in that, we actually teased something that we wanted to come back to today. So let's take just a quick little 1-minute snippet from part of our Sunday drive that Eric and I did yesterday. Let's remove that.
But
because I wanted to check on some of these.
But what I said to them when we were considering, should we offer?
I'm on lot number 6, and I'm crossing my fingers, and you know why. A specific person.
Yes. I said to them, when we're talking about offering under asking, what we said was, dumb and desperate is gone.
Yes.
So it used to be that a seller could count on a dumb or desperate offer to either sell it to them or to jack up the price for everybody else.
Okay, so in that, you saw that we teased lot number 6. So we drove past it. Now, that community is a community called Waterley. It is absolutely a gorgeous community. It is probably my favorite cohesive, just everything included community out here in the Horizon West area here in Winter Garden. It's absolutely the most gorgeous piece of land. There's all sorts of lakes. They're nestled all around it. There's water everywhere. Almost every home has what I call a peekaboo water view. Whether you have a rear entry garage home or a luxury home that's on the lake, it just seems like the community has been very thoughtfully planned. It's very large. It's absolutely beautiful. So you'll notice that when we drove by, you didn't see, but I did this with my fingers as we were driving past lot number 6. We did have a client that submitted a bid. Now, the way that, a bid, an offer, which is the way this builder works, which is a little bit different when we talk about new construction. We've talked about kind of the highest and best scenario, or when they release them for sale, or do you get to build from dirt? That whole concept is very, it's varied at the moment because every builder is doing something different. But in this case, we did have a client that submitted a very good offer. There were multiple offers. And again, new construction, yes, multiple offers, highest and best offer. And I am so excited to say that they got it. So we got news last night. In fact, as we were posting, or as the Sunday drive was actually airing, it was like, I think it was like the deadline time. And I mean, we just drove by and just so all the emotions and the anxiety and the kind of waiting, are they going to get it? Are they going to get it? And the answer is yes, they did. So congratulations for getting that. And you'll notice, by the way, everyone take a quick look at the home. So you see the home is under construction. So the home is already under construction when they release them for sale. So, and again, in this community. So I just think that's interesting. You're not building it from dirt. Things have already been chosen for that home. But I say that home. Now I might say your home, and you know who I'm talking to. All right. So that, again, congratulations. That's very, very, very exciting. You know, it's so nerve-wracking because currently at this time, our family, our family, cumulatively speaking, our children primarily in this particular situation, buyers and sellers. My son, as we talked about last week, has a contract on his home in Texas. And going to number 2 of What's Brewing, where it says Virginia bound, I am very excited to say that last night he got great news that the offer that he had submitted on a home that is just 5 minutes down the street from his dear friends that he had from college, his offer was accepted as well. So, and that's out of state. So, we had to have assistance on that end as well. But very excited about that. So his home is sold. He's got a new home locked down. Now we're ticking away the days until he can make that transition back to Virginia. And that's very exciting. And, they do things differently in every state. I think we mentioned before in Texas that real estate is different. They do things with surveys. They're different. If you haven't made any changes to your property, you just have to have that survey notarized, and it's fine. Whereas in in Florida, it's a little bit different. Anyway, it's just a lot of interesting things to see how real estate is done, the wording, and some of the policies and procedures and things that they have to do. So we're very, very grateful to Randy and his wife there in the Richmond area for assisting us through that process. So super excited about that. So Forrest will be back in Virginia, back where his heart is singing, as he said, and near friends and family. To be honest, he'll be closer to some of our family. So that's exciting. So that's number 2 of our What's Brewing. And now the other one is some seller mistakes. Now you'll notice in that that little clip that we just showed you, not only were we doing this as we drove by lot number 6, but we also were talking about some seller situations and some seller mistakes. It's hard to explain. Wow, I hear dogs barking and cats meowing all around our house right now. Hold on. Eric wants me.
Oh, bother.
He did that just in case the dogs were barking, and they were. So well done. I got to use it. Okay. Anyway, so we talked about some seller mistakes. Now, so this is, I'm trying not to get too deep into this because I know you guys don't want to spend your entire morning with me. But so what we referenced yesterday in the Sunday Drive is that the market is changing. It is still a seller's market. It is absolutely still a seller's market, but it is not the cray-cray seller's market. And where you once had, 10 to 20 offers on a home, now you might have 3 to 6. A really good example is that when we talk about inventory, we have Susan says she can't hear the dogs. Well, that's good. So when we talk about inventory, that's a really big indicator of the market and how fast things are going. So a while back, we had 3 days worth of inventory. 3 days. A normal, steady, good market is 30 days worth of inventory, meaning 30 days worth of homes and availability for the buyers that are on hand. So 30 days is normal. We had 3. So do you see how that has skewed? And that's why the prices were going up, and everybody was gobbling up the houses. Okay, so now we are at 12 days. So is it still a seller's market? Yes, absolutely. 100% it is. Is it a feeding frenzy? Not as much anymore. Doesn't mean that you're not still going to have people offering above your asking price. It doesn't mean that people aren't still going to bridge a potential appraisal gap. It doesn't mean any of that. But what it does mean is that, first of all, what's happening, I have found, like recently, is that there are some people, and I will also say some realtors, that are not paying attention to what's happening, are not savvy enough or aware enough in the market, and paying attention, by the way, to some of the other aspects that affect our market, like new construction, because it's so prevalent here. What's happening and how that is affecting everything. And people are they're just going, oh, that's a good price. Let me just pull that and plop it on my home. Okay, well, that's great. But if your home is not worth that, or if it is not going to appraise for that, then there is going to be a problem. And we've talked about this at length many, many, many times, so I'm not going to bore you with it. But a situation that's happening, and it's happening like twice, 2 different people right now that I can reference. Actually, 3, is that the seller wanted a higher price. The listing agent, whether or not they advised properly or whether or not they just decided, sure, I'll list it at what the seller wants, even if I know it's not going to sell for that. And that's okay, to each their own. But if you put that high price on that property, what happens is your neighbors who have a very similar home, maybe a larger home, maybe a smaller home, they're using what cray-cray price you just put on your home that's unrealistic as being professionally advised that your home is actually worth that. So If your home is worth 700, but you decide absolutely it's not worth 700, it is worth 850, 900, easy breezy, and that's what I want to list it for, then you put that price tag on it because you get a realtor to agree to it, even if it's against their own better judgment. And I know that's happening right now because I spoke to a realtor and he said, yeah, I know. That's what she wanted. I'm like, okay. But that person now has a home on the market that is at a really crazy price. The other people in the community don't know that it's a crazy price. They think that person was advised by the real estate professional that that home is actually worth and would appraise at that amount. And so now it puts an unrealistic expectation throughout that entire community and area, and most definitely the most immediate neighbors. And then by the way, when that home doesn't appraise, we have issues. Now, I had a phone call yesterday. I have my scheduled phone calls with clients. And yesterday, someone had mentioned, we noticed prices are going down. No, they're not. They're not going down. What's happening is that those cray-cray sellers are putting these high prices on these homes and they're not selling because now we don't have 3 days of inventory. We've got 12. The interest rates have gone up. The panic to purchase and shelter your home is diminishing. It's still there, but it's diminishing a little bit. And so when you put that $850,000, $900,000 price tag on a home that's worth $700,000, nobody probably came to see it, or they realized it's not worth that. There's no way. And you've priced it so far out of reality that why even submit an offer? Because they're just going to be insulted if you come in at what it's actually worth. True story. We've done this. And so then they drop the price. And then they still don't get any activity. And then they drop the price. So those homes that are staying on the market for longer periods of time is a direct indication of the pricing to begin with. So that's my little soapbox for the moment. So prices aren't necessarily going down. And again, I'm going to speak for my area, for my little farming area right here. I'm not going to speak to where it is, where you are across the country or in other countries, but definitely here, the prices aren't going down. It's that the homes that were priced too high to begin with were priced too high and they're not selling. And so they're lowering their price. And again, that's wasting time. But at any rate, so that was my soapbox. Are you ready? All right, let's see if there's any questions. So I'm going to see if I can get fancy here. And hopefully if you've had questions, you've been putting a Q in front of it. Let me see if I can do that. Let's see. Eric is here. He's going to help me. You going to help me?
Sure.
Yeah, help me.
You good?
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Right there.
There we go. Is it cheaper to get a builder to include a pool if you were having a new build or get someone to install it later? That is a great question, David. So it's definitely not cheaper. No, it's not cheaper to have the builder do it. However, there can be, depending on the builder, depending on their relationship with the pool company, there could be some advantages. Well, first of all, the advantage is that the pool is being built at the same time the home is being built. And so convenience is perfect, right? So then you close on your home, you've got a pool that's already ready to jump in and swim. That's great. It's also that you're not dealing with the inconvenience like we are right now of an absolutely obliterated backyard. It is absolutely a disaster. Our pets, our house, I feel like I'm walking on the beach because there's so much dirt from the outside, mounds of dirt because they haven't done the backfill yet, that our house just doesn't matter how many times you clean, mop, or sweep. It's just they keep bringing it in off of their paws. So there's a convenience factor for sure. But to answer your question specifically about is it cheaper? No, because the builder is not the company that's building the pool. They're just contracting it out. So they're going to mark it up. It could be 20 to 30% more that you're paying for that. But you have to decide whether or not the value of that is worth it. Like you can go, yeah, but the inconvenience factor of doing it later and the HOA approval and how long it's going to take to build, maybe paying a little bit more and having the builder do it to begin with is worth it. So that's a great question. I like that one. Very nice. All right. D-Town, how many Orlando MLS listings are having a price decrease? Can you show the numbers? I can't right now, but we can do that. Afterwards, we can kind of go back through. Eric says thumbs up. He will show you that next time. We can get that information for you. But yeah, you really will notice that most anything that has been decreased in price has really been probably because it was priced a bit higher to begin with. Now, on that note, talking about the inventory aspect. So it used to be, and I say used to be, this was not very long ago, and it's still kind of, depending on the builder, still happening. But the builders are typically, limiting their releases as to what they can release and when. There's issues with different permitting departments. I believe I am correct, but if I'm wrong, I'm only think I'm right. Is that like in Mineola, they are so overwhelmed with building permits right now that they're actually limiting the builders with how many they can submit at a time. So that process, remember, in a normal market, that was taking about 3 months here in permitting in this area. So you would contract on your home for new construction. You've got, 1, 2, 3 months while it's sitting in the permitting department, getting all of those permits and plans approved, and then they would start construction. In Mineola, it's taking 4 months, and it can take even longer. And that's once it's submitted. Anyway, so there's some challenges there, but what my point was is that we're getting a lot of notices from builders with the inventory list now that's coming up. So where it used to be that there was nothing, now they have basically, they've kind of been working really, really hard and efficiently to provide actually some inventory. So we have more opportunity now that the summer is, I guess here, right? I don't know. I never get to enjoy summer anymore, but I guess it's here. Kids are out of school. So this is a big time for sales here in this area. So the builders are prepped and ready. So I just got one this morning with Pulte, with my great contact named Carly over there. She sent me a long list of some great inventory options. By the way, all of those are not necessarily completed and ready now. It just means that these homes are there and ready, and they are ready to be contracted on. Some won't be completed until September, October, November. Some of them might be ready a little bit sooner. But that's a very telling sign in this market that we're getting a little bit more. Let's see. Are there any other questions in here that we can get to? If you didn't, okay, hold on. What is the average cost of homeowners insurance for a house? Absolutely. That is a loaded question, Eric said from over there.
I'll look up some rates. After
it's a little bit, it's really hard to say because, in Florida, the majority of people always worry about flood insurance and do they have to have flood insurance? Well, if FEMA determines that you are in a flood zone, then yes, you will be required to. If you are not in a flood zone, then you don't have to have flood insurance. And how does that affect the actual homeowner's insurance if it's tacked on? We'll get you some numbers if that will be helpful. And then again, Susie Q, a rough idea of what property taxes are on an approximate 2,100 square foot home, Lake County compared to Orange County. That's another one. So we can go back through and give you some more numbers off the top of my head. 2,100 square feet home. Well, is that 2,100 square foot home on the lake? Is it back up to rear neighbors? You have neighbors on either side because it's a lot of that, taxes wise. We'll pull those numbers up for you. All these questions are now coming in. Can you share the Pulte Homes contract? Homes for, can I share that list? So yes, so D-Town. So yes, if you are a client of mine, if we are officially working together, then yes, of course. If I know that that's a community that you are interested in and that those numbers, if the price point is right, if the area is right, if, absolutely. When I get that information, that's exactly what I do. I let people know, hey, these are being released. Do I, just put it out there? No, because obviously I'm a realtor and I'm hoping to assist my clients through it. But yeah, absolutely. If we're working together, I can give you all that information. Okay, so I know you're probably tired of me talking, but we're not done yet because we've talked before about our partners. Last week, we showed a picture of our Heart and Home Orlando family. And last week, Kennard talked about the new Tiger Woods little mini golf place that's coming here to Hamlin. But today, we're going to talk to have Caitlin Lamacchia, who actually lives in downtown Winter Garden, which is the historic downtown Winter Garden area. And she is golf cart district. So for those of you asking about that, she's got a little something to share with us on that.
Want to live in a golf cart community? Here's your do's and your don'ts. Do have a rear view mirror. Don't worry about registering your golf cart. It's not required. Do have brake lights. Don't drive if you're under 14 years old. The county is currently reviewing plans to nearly double the size of the downtown Winter Garden Golf Cart District. So keep an eye out here for updates. Caitlin Lamacchia with Heart and Home Orlando. See you downtown.
Yay. Thank you, Caitlin. So yes, she does. I think I mentioned before when I first met Caitlin, we met at a place called the French Cafe down there in downtown Winter Garden. She drove up in her little golf cart. So very, very cool. And if you have not been to downtown Winter Garden, or if you don't live here and you can't have gone there in person, we actually have a video I did a long time ago where we just kind of walked through on a Saturday. It's really lovely. First of all, they have the most glorious, magnificent magnolia trees out there. Absolutely beautiful. But, you've got the cobblestone street. You've got lots of restaurants and mom and pop shops, boutiques. It's beautifully decorated for the holidays all the time. It's really the iconic place to go. Saturdays, they have the farmer's market, which is amazing. I was actually going to wear my necklace that's made out of paper that I got from there. It's like recycled. I love it. I'll wear it one time. There's a great place for the kids, like a big splash zone. So there's a lot of stuff happening down there. It's a great place to take the family, take the dogs. The Crooked Can is a great brewery place where you can take your dog and sit outside. It's a great spot. So thank you, Caitlin, for that. And speaking of the partners, I just want to give a shout out to Yanil real quick because and Kennard, actually all of them, they're all doing amazing things for me. But because we did have that death in the family this past week, I had some clients that were coming in town, and I had already enlisted the help of Yanil to assist me on that particular one to set up some showings. And obviously with the news, things kind of went crazy. And so Yanil just took great care of them and just kind of got everything taken care of. And they've already submitted an offer on something as well. Kennard was assisting with another client who has been under contract to build for a long time, but now they're to the point where they needed to find a rental. So Kennard was out with them, assisting to get them set up. So that is exactly why I have these partners to assist me, because we don't know what life is going to bring. And sometimes you can't be in two places at once, but you have to take care of your clients. So I make sure that we have those extra open hearts and hands to assist. So there's another good question over here. I wanted to go over. Kim asked, what are some of the pros and cons of a 55 plus community? That is really good. I love that question. So my first question when I talk to people about 55 plus is, what is your draw to it? Because it's going to be different for everybody, right? So are you looking to be in a gated community where you are surrounded by people that are perhaps of the same, age demographic, same stage of life? Are you looking to be in a quiet community? Maybe, not saying you don't like kids, but maybe you're kind of okay with not having kids and basketballs and soccer balls kind of all around you all the time, and you just kind of want to be quiet and relax. Everyone's reason for that is different. There's amazing amenities, amazing activities that these 55 plus communities have. So if you are that person that's going to take advantage of that, if you're like, yes, I am the social butterfly, I'm going to go to book club, I'm going to go to the knitting club. If you're going to go to the do all of the outings that they do, the field trips and the day trips that they do. If you're going to take advantage of that lifestyle, absolutely on board 100%. 55 plus is amazing. Absolutely. Hands down. Now, the HOA fees are going to be a little bit higher in those 55 plus communities because they are typically gated. And in many cases, they are guard gated, meaning there is a security guard there that has a little bit more security of entering and exiting the community. And again, if there's a gate, then you have to maintain the gate. Obviously, lawn maintenance is typically included, not only that with the common areas, but the amenities and those activity centers. So there's a larger community amenity situation that has to be maintained by those HOA fees as well. So you pay more for that. If you're going to utilize it, 100% yes. If you are, and I have clients that are both sides of this. If you are like, no, I really don't have any problem with kids. I actually love kids. That doesn't bother me a bit. Really, I like the 55 plus because I just felt like, I can have a nice large 1-story floor plan. I still want nice amenities because I want to be able to go do some of that. And I want my lawn maintenance included. Well, you know what? There's other communities. Waterley, which we talked about in the very beginning, is my go-to community for pretty much anybody looking for anything. Because you do have lawn maintenance included with your HOA fee there. You do have absolutely off-the-chart resort-style amenities there that, have activities and things like that as well. But it's not 55 plus. So there are going to be kids around. There are going to be, kids playing basketball or soccer fields or, kids are going to be at the pool. So if that's not a problem for you, then you don't need to hone in specifically on the 55 plus because there are potentially other options, but it's going to depend on anybody as to what it is that they're looking for. Okay, any other questions? I know there's some that I didn't get to. Great news. Eric is yelling great news. Breaking news. Breaking news.
I just ran those tax rate numbers for you. So you
All right, Eric ran tax rate numbers. Okay, so going back to that question about taxes. Orange County tax rate is 0.89%. Lake County is 0.07%. So 0.089%. Lake County 0.087%. So Lake County has always been a little bit less, and we've told people that when they're looking to purchase, that Lake County is a little less expensive than Orange County. But I've never had a client choose Lake County over Orange County specifically because of the tax rate. So, if that is the determining factor, then so be it. But it's not, doesn't seem to be like it's that big a deciding factor. Let's see. Eric said home prices tend to be higher in Orange, which we know. So you pay a little bit more tax for a similar size home, which we know, right? So Orange County is a little bit more expensive. So when you think about it in tax terms, a $500,000 home in Orange County, those taxes will be like $4,450. In Lake County, it'd be $4,350. So not substantially different. Doesn't really make. Oh, sorry, he's clicking on my thing. Anyway, so, we also have homestead here. There's some other things that would be included if you have like your homestead exemption. Some people, if you're a disabled veteran, if you're widowed, I think I said disabled, but there's some other exemptions that you can take in. So none of that was taken into place, but yeah. So Lake County, Orange County, very, very similar. Lake County, a little bit lower, but again, I've never had a client, even when I've told them that, none of them have ever chosen one over the other because of the tax rate. So anyway, all right, moving on. So there was another question, which is, can you live in a 55 plus if you have a high school child? That's a really good question. So there's a lot of restrictions and specifics when it comes to these 55 plus communities. And so I never want to be, the say all, know all, because I know that there are some exceptions. I have had a client purchase in a 55 plus community, and they did have a child that was not 55 plus. It was a special needs child that was always going to need to remain at home. And so, of course, they were able to live with them at the 55 plus community. And sometimes those stipulations are that at least half of the residents of the home need to be 55 plus or older. Some of them have community sized ratios. So, the truth is, do you want to live in a community, or does your high school student want to live in a community, in a 55 plus community? That's probably the better question. Because again, now you're talking a community where the demographic is older, and probably not going to be any high school students in that community. So, but if they're going away to college, if they're getting ready to move out, then perhaps that won't matter. But that's a good question. I like that one. All right. Any other questions? I'm doing a quick peek. Yes. So, whoop, that's the big squishmallow. That was Elizabeth. That's not the one I wanted. Here we go. Any new townhome communities coming to Mineola or to Claremont that you're aware of? Yes, definitely. That whole Mineola section, there's a lot that's happening there. Whether it's apartment complexes or if it's townhomes, a lot of times those are mixed in. So it's not necessarily going to be a townhome community, but perhaps townhomes or those bungalows might be intermixed with the typical single family homes. So there's a lot that's kind of coming and popping up around that area. So keep an eye out on some of those new communities. There are a lot of builders you can see a lot of land being cleared, a lot of signs coming up, and there's a lot of things that are happening that aren't really public knowledge yet as well from some of the builders. So that's another good question. Okay. All right, guys. So I think that we are about done, because I don't know if you're like tired of me yet. Let me do a. Oh, hey, Caitlin. Did Caitlin see our little? Caitlin. She got there in time. Oh, well, Caitlin, we talked about you a little while ago. If you didn't get to see, Caitlin is our partner that did the downtown Winter Garden golf cart district a little segment for us. So yay, Caitlin. Well, perfect, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I do have to go probably a little bit earlier today, mostly because I do have some work to do. I've got a couple listings going out, actually 4 listings going active, I think, this week. So we have a lot of work to do. We have closing this afternoon for another family. So lots happening. But mostly, I just want to thank you again for watching. This is a great way to start my day. I didn't really get to have much of my coffee because I'm talking so much. So I'll have to go heat it up in the microwave. But I'll promise I'll do that. And then next week, we will be back again. And remember, prep your questions. I know that you probably have a lot and you just kind of can't think of them. But think about them. And then next week, make sure you put them here with a Q and then the colon so that we can search them. Actually, wait, I want to go back to one more. I want to go back to this one because I just saw this one pop up. If you were to buy a second home and stay part of the year and then let any family or friend stay there free during the times that you're not there, is that considered a short-term rental? Good question. Okay, so it depends on where you bought that home. If you buy a home, because you can buy a home in a short-term rental area or you can buy a home in a residential area. But if you buy a home that's specifically short-term rental, it doesn't matter what you do with it. You can do whatever you want with it. If you are buying a home in a residential community, let's just keep talking about Waterloo because it's my favorite one. So I actually have had clients that purchased their own private vacation, their own private second home in that community where they were here, a couple months out of the year. And then, their daughter and son-in-law and their kids would come every once in a while and stay there too. But it was never rented out. That's the thing that you can't do. You can't have like your friends go and stay for a weekend and you can't have this. But if it's your family, that's usually not going to be a problem because you're not renting it out. So I think that's really important. And I will say there are some people that have been trying to get away with doing some Airbnb things and they are getting caught because it is very important to the integrity of the Horizon West Winter Garden area that these areas that are zoned residential remain so and that the Airbnbs are not allowed. But there are some areas where you can do whatever you want with the home. If it's short-term rental, have at it. It can be your own private vacation home, rent it out for 2 months a year, and then just have friends and family come and stay because, it's your home. All right, guys. So,
questions if you want.
more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, he says more questions. All right, hold on. More questions.
Page down.
All right.
And Sydney wanted to know if I could say hi, so I'll just wave. Hi.
Sydney. Sydney, that was Eric. He waved hi. I don't see any more questions.
So, somebody wanted to know if you're a Publix or a Walmart shopper.
I don't see these questions. But anyway, he says, am I a Publix or a Walmart shopper? I'm an Instacart shopper. Sorry. We have both here, very close by. Publix is where I go for my groceries. I don't really go to Walmart to get groceries consistently, although of course I have. But I do go to the Walmart to pick up other things occasionally. But I have a very bad habit now of, because I'm busy, that when I have to go to the grocery store, I do my order online through Instacart and they deliver it. And it's sad. It probably speaks poorly of me, but I feel like I'm helping them out by paying them for that. And I tip very well. Are there any rural areas in Orlando? Well, Orlando, again, Orlando is a big, wide encompassing thing. So if you want to consider some of these areas, outskirts of Orlando, then yeah, absolutely. But this is so neat to see these people. Hello, Furman. But yeah, so some of the rural areas, it really just depends on what your definition of Orlando is, because there are some places like, Dr. Phillips has an Orlando address, city, Metro West. These are not rural at all. But it just depends on where that address is. So if you want Orlando proper, that city, if you're looking for outskirts of Orlando, then there's a lot of rural places. And I talk about Groveland. I was just telling a client the other day, going out to Groveland, I feel like I'm in Europe. I feel like, because it is so beautiful, lush, green, hills, just like farmland. It's beautiful. I feel like I'm back when we went to our trip to Wales and to Ireland and to England. It was very beautiful. So just really depends on where you're looking. But yeah, there's certainly some beautiful places out there that are going to give you some rolling hills and some beautiful landscape. It's not all just beach, sky, and palm trees, my friends. All right, guys. Okay, so I am most definitely, how about on our drive, we go to a Publix and show us what it's like. Okay, we can do that sometime. That'd be kind of fun. All right, guys. So thank you again for sharing your morning with me. I don't know. I feel a little scattered today, but I think it's because my heart, my mind it's in a couple different places right now because we're going through bunches. It's kind of hard to monitor the excitement and the joy on some aspects, and then have complete and utter sorrow all at the same time. So, but thank you again for joining us. We are going to stay connected because I'm going to see you guys again on Monday. At 9 o'clock again. I'm going to get better at all this button pushing, I promise. But anyway, I want to thank you again. So as we finish, I just want to remind you that we want you to stay safe, to stay well. Remember that we love you because we really do. And you know what? Everybody needs to hear it. We love you. You guys have a great day. Happy house hunting.